We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on new Freedom XChange, we freeing your brain. They tryna shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Man Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom XChange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your co-host, Mujahideen, here with Sister Marsha and Bilal Hassan, both out and about. They should be joining us shortly, but we did want to get the show rolling. We do have our guest here, a special guest, special showcase we're doing today. Promoting the University of Islam, Clara Muhammad, WD Muhammad High School alumni. And so we just wanted to check in with you all. I know it's been a while since we all been on and present, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity, those who are listening now, those who will listen later, to let us know where you are watching this from, where you're listening from. We always love to see where our supporters are. Just trying to get situated here. We're live in the studio at our place of worship, and some of the believers are coming in, so I just wanted to get in a quiet space. Okay, this is a new year of the Islamic calendar, Muharram. So happy New Year, happy Islamic New Year to all of you all. Again, we are appreciative of those who join and those who will join later to get this information. One of our passions or interests has been to present content that is beneficial to the Muslim community, but also to humanity at large. And so all of our shows with the intent to promote good information and motivation. Initially, that's how we started. We started actually in the beginning of the pandemic, where everybody was distant and not really knowing what was going on, and we were blessed to have this podcast to start out and share people's stories and what they have been doing and what's going on in the community. And then we just kept growing. And so we're here. Actually, this is year 4. We're here year 4. Still kicking, still going strong. Inshallah, we look to do a lot of live shows too. We also working on some projects, in-person projects. Actually a documentary working on of our history. And so we're going to bring all that information to you in this forthcoming summer and beyond. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring on our guests. Sister Priscilla, who's the chair of the University of Islam, Sister Clara Muhammad and WD Muhammad High School Alumni Association. And we're going to talk about the event that's coming just a week away. We do have live stream available. I'm sure we'll talk about that and everything else. And there's also opportunity for your sponsorship. For those of you who have an interest in supporting the event, if you can't make it, you can sponsor and get yourself recognized as one of the supporters of this important institution or association, highlighting those who have been through our own independent Islamic school system. So without any further ado, I'd like to now bring on our dear sister, Sister Priscilla. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam, and welcome and assalamu alaikum to your listening audience and viewers. I'm pleased to join you. I'm on the late show. Wasn't really familiar or knew about the New Freedom XChange, and just listening to you express your history and your challenge and your premise for the show podcast was very inspiring. So congratulations on your 4 years. Congratulations on a wonderful idea, and obviously it was something that was needed. So I'm happy to be.
Absolutely. Excellent. Excellent. Well, let's, if you don't mind, giving our audience a little bit about yourself and how did you come across or develop this association?
All right. Thank you. My name is Priscilla. I am from Los Angeles, California, and I am a graduate of the Imam and Clara Muhammad School in Los Angeles. And so in the 90s, early 90s, 91, a group of alumni got together, and the idea was to start an alumni association, because we stayed in touch with one another, and we socialized, and um, thought it was a great idea, and it morphed into a national alumni association because we travel a lot and we meet a lot of students and alumni that attended school within the Clara Muhammad school system. And so that's how we became a National Alumni Association in 1991. And well, we went from there. We were hosting our reunions, and we were asking everyone to come to Los Angeles, and we realized that was a little silly. And so we developed hosting the alumni reunions every 2 years in a different location, in different state, city, or country. And so we've been around, we're crisscrossing the different coasts, trying to reach as many alumni as we can. And so let me give you a little bit of history about the Alumni Association. So the school, the National Alumni Association represents the Clara Common School System. That's our objective. That's our goal. Is to continue having Claire Muhammad schools and elementary and secondary school, because that is what the school is all about. That's its makeup, elementary and secondary. And so um, when we developed it and did our bylaws and our articles of incorporation and such, we are a 501(c)(3 um, public entity. So all your donations are tax deductible. And so what we did when we started, once we got our official business taken care of, we submitted to the Office of Imam Morthy Muhammad, the fact that we exist, our reasons for existing, and our vision and our mission. And he in turn sent to us a letter and a video, a really beautiful letter, pretty much stating that he knows that we will do a great job, and the reasons for starting it was valid, and he was happy and excited for it. And the video said wonderful things as well. So from that point on, we began to try to let the world know that we exist. And even though we've been at this for some 30 odd years, there are alumni, students, and other folks who just don't know we exist. So it's always challenging, because normally when we do a reunion, we hear from someone saying, "Oh my God, we need to have a reunion," and then someone says, "We just did," and they said, "When, where, how?" If I've known. So that's our challenge, is to constantly let folks know that we exist and why we exist. And why we exist is that we are ambassadors for the school system, the schools, and the students. Uh, Pretty much most alumni and students who attended any Muhammad school always says that they are uh, pleased with the education they received, and we realize what our parents and the pioneers went through to make sure that we got excellent education and a sense of who we were as Black people. So our school was predominantly formed to house and educate Black children, and that morphed into a lot more because um, Black people in communities, Muslim or not, sent their children to our schools. Doesn't matter where the school was, they sent their children to our school. And then also, when in the 90s, in the 2000s, when we had an influx of individual and families coming from other countries to the States, and looking for a Muslim school to send their children, what they found and what was available were our schools. And so they also sent their children to our schools. So the premise that it was started for Black children soon changed. And our school has always been an education institution for the community it's housed in. And so I'm going to stop there in case you have any more questions because I have a lot to say.
Absolutely. Well, we are joined by our other co-host and also Claire Muhammad champion and ambassador, Sister Marcia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha. So I'm glad to have jumped on when I did. I'm actually traveling en route to home, and I said, well, let me stop because I don't want to miss the conversation because I'm in travel. So I pulled over so that we can have the conversation. And so I came in as Sister Priscilla, you were talking about, like, the purpose of our schools and the fact that our schools are for the community in which they're in. And um as I hear you say that, I just feel like, that story, just like, we need to put you on the bullhorn and just like ride around so that that story can be retold and retold again, because some people could see the school as being like this exclusive school for the Black Muslims in Imam Muhammad's community, right? And as you stated, there are alumni from our school who um, benefited from the education, regardless to whether or not they were Muslim, and that it's a benefit to the community in which it serves. So I want to thank you for sharing that, because sometimes we have to sort of dispel some of these preconceived notions and ideas about what it is that we provide. So thank you for that. And I'm excited for the reunion. I am not a product of Clara Muhammad School. My children are. And I just feel like there's some more work that we could do as a community to help to support the work that you all do in the association, to have the students know that it's important to be connected to this system post graduation as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My dad once said, and my parents are deceased, but they were number one supporters of the National Alumni Association. So my dad once said, he said, we have to make the students and the alumni understand that we can be just as strong and mighty as a USC or UCLA, or, that was his reference because we're from California. So, but those were his references. And what he was trying to say is that, we're not chumps. Our school system is not a chump, right? It's not a afterthought. It is and has been verified, right? So many of our schools, and most of our schools, were accredited, and I can speak in particularly about the Los Angeles schools, even in the university stage, University of Islam. Our school started in the 1960s. Before that, we did a lot of homeschooling and Saturday classes until the parents and the pioneers got our actual brick and mortar. And so um, I lost my thought, but anyway, I'll stop there. And if you have any questions for me, I have a lot to say, but that I had something. Oh, I know. Um, um, yeah, no, I'll stop there.
So you just touched on something else that sparked for me, right? You mentioned the weekend and the or some people say the strong end and the homeschools, right? And so those are other formats in which our schools exist. And so it's important to highlight that as well. And I'm starting to see that although some communities may not be in a position to have a full school, that they are starting to bring back the weekend school format, and it's so important because it's really if we were sort of looking at a timeline or a continuum, it's a stepping stone to back to full time if your community had full time before. But the important thing is to make sure that we are in a position to be to educate our children, right? To be a part of that process of um, nurturing them with information and not completely giving that task up to others.
It is a stepping stone because in reality, that's how our school system started. If Sister Clara and those other mothers in Detroit had not um, taken it upon themselves to pull their children out of the public school, which was illegal at the time, and deal with all of the uh, uh, political and policing things that they had to deal with, children being taken out of their homes, them being arrested. If they had not done that, then we as Americans would not have the option to homeschool our children, because at that time homeschooling was illegal. You could not homeschool your child. Your child had to be sent to a public school. And because Black children were being taught by Caucasian teachers, there were no Black teachers. They weren't being treated fairly, and they weren't getting the education that those parents thought they needed. Those needed. So if those mothers had not been brave enough and cared enough and did that, well, we in America wouldn't even be able to homeschool our children. So that's number one, right? Little old ladies from Detroit fought the good fight, and that's how we got homeschooling. So yeah, we want to start with the homeschooling. We want to start with the weekend schools, but we can't stay there, right? We can't stay there because they do have some fallacies. Okay, and I can name quite a few fallacies that we've had to deal with, um, because there has to be a structure, right? And it's great for the children also to have that social. That's one of the reasons why the National Alumni Association is it's so wonderful, I think, is because of the friendships, lifelong friendships, that we developed with one another, and even with those students who were not Muslim but came to our school, same thing, still close. Okay. And so we do actually have in today's world many alumni and students of the Claire Muhammad school system who don't identify as Muslims. But when it comes down to for reunions and gatherings and things, they're there, right? And so we don't have any problems communicating and socializing with one another. And so that's one of the things that I always like to share with people is that we, the National Alumni Association, we don't care that you're Christian, Jewish, who your significant other is. We don't really care. You're welcome. And so when we developed the National Alumni Association in the 90s, we redefined what a Claire Muhammad school system's definition of alumni is. And that's because we have students who weren't able to graduate, and to no fault of their own, no fault of their own, but because of what our communities went through. And so many schools closed, many schools had issues, and students who were prime and ready and supposed to graduate didn't get a chance to graduate. So, excuse me, we kind of changed the definition of alumni, meaning if you have attended one of our schools, whether you graduated or not. So when we say alumni reunion, we're talking about those students who didn't get a chance to graduate but should have graduated. And yeah, so, and then another thing is that when we promote a National Alumni Association and we list University of Islam, Clara Muhammad School, WD Muhammad High School, um, you'll have a person who went to one of our schools, but they'll say, "Well, I didn't go to Clara Muhammad School, so this reunion couldn't be about, for me." Or they'll say, "Well, I didn't go to the University of Islam, so this reunion couldn't be for me." Or they say, "I didn't go to no WD Muhammad High School, so this can't be for me." And so our job is to say, yes, it is for you, because the Claire Muhammad school system consists of University of Islam, Claire Muhammad School, and WD Muhammad High School. We do recognize homeschooling, and we do recognize noted affiliates. But other than that, everyone's welcome, and we always have a good time. We try to concentrate on several things, and one of those is um, recognizing our school pioneers. Um, and they never gave up the job. They took on the task of educating us, and they never ever stopped. Right, even when they were no longer in the schools, but they were still in the community, and we saw them, and uh, they participated. So I'll tell you something a little humorous. When we did our first reunion, we held it at a veterans hall, and doggone it, I can't remember the name, but it's in Los Angeles, a veterans hall, and it was packed. And so uh, my mother was right in the middle of, listening to everything that we were, struggling with, and arranging for this reunion. And she said, "Okay, well, we need to know the information, and we're going to be there." And I said, "Who's we?" And she said, "The mothers and the parents. We're going to be there." And I was like, "Oh no, ma'am, this is this is the alumni reunion. It's just for students." And my mother told me, "You must have lost your mind if you think you're going to have an alumni reunion and we're not going to be there. You wouldn't be in the school if we hadn't put you in the school." So yes, and so it kind of opened up my eyes, and I had to recognize, because these parents, these pioneers who put all of their energy into educating Black children and Muslim children, um, I mean, they did things. I've got paperwork where, it was the culture committee, and the um, um, all kinds of things. For example, my dad was the bus driver, right? He went all the way, hours, into another city to pick up children and brought them to the school, and at the end of the day took them all the way back. That was a lot of driving, right? And my dad had one leg, but most people didn't know that, because he had an artificial leg, and he walked really well with it. But he had a stick shift, and he did all of that drive, and he would drive to Pasadena, Pomona. I mean, and I'm talking about, miles and miles apart. But those are the things they did, right? They made sure that we had social activities. They made sure In the early days in the schools, the boys went in the morning and the girls went in the evening. We only had 3 hours of education, but that didn't stop us for getting what we needed. And our scores were really, really good, really, really good. So we didn't need 8 hours of instruction. So plus we had discipline, and we didn't know how much we enjoyed the discipline until schools started closing. Children were put into public schools, and the trauma that our students went through, because of our school closures, that social connection being broken, um, families being torn apart. Uh, it got crazy, but um, in the long run, um, I must say for the last 30 years, this has been our soapbox, and that is that our school system is valuable. It doesn't have to be discarded and should not be discarded, and it should be prized. And well, most importantly, if you have any affiliation to the school, you do have a responsibility to give back so that the next generation can get the great, excellent education we say we received and we're thankful for. So the next set of generations of Clara Muhammad school systems and schools and students can get what they deserve. Um, and our curriculum is constantly evolving, and we are contenders. So when people think that we uh, aren't up to the task with the STEM and the STREM and the whatever, we are. But the schools cannot survive without support. And so that's what we've been doing for 30 years. For 30 years, nobody was saying the word alumni. Nobody was praising our school system. Folks were naming their schools all other names other than what school system we had in place that was over 50 some odd years old. And so, and that's what the National Alumni Association will continue to do. But so every 2 years we host our reunion, and this year we are in Atlanta, and we're excited to be in Atlanta. We've been trying to get that way for a while, and we're having a 3-day event. So Friday is our meet and greet. It's no cost. Um, we have little tidbits to snack on, and for those who are traveling and coming in, it just gives them a chance to maybe stop in and get a snack to eat, take a peek at the complex, because the most beautiful thing about this particular event is that we're on the complex of the Muhammad Schools of Atlanta, and we where there is a Claire Muhammad School and a WD Muhammad High School, and our actual reunion, our brunch, and our meet and greet will be held in the gymnasium that was built by Brother Sharif Abdul Rahim, NBA superstar. Um, and so that was a blessing in itself. And just to be there, I think it's important to make that connection, and for folks to understand that you might have a school in Atlanta, but your school is not the only school. There are schools all over the United States, and we're not separate. We're one. Um, there's pictures of Muslim mothers in a lineup, in a police lineup. And I would just like for people to kind of keep that in their eyes, mind, of what these sisters went through, what these mothers went through in order to just to educate their own. So that's important. People say, well, this school is great and that school is great. And I can tell you from experience that being educated in this particular school system was absolutely wonderful. It was challenging, It was everybody knew if you got an F, right? And Fs weren't even acceptable. Not Fs were not acceptable. Ds were not acceptable. And I think one year, I can't remember what sibling, brought home an F. And my dad, he used really foul language. He said, "So this F is saying you're saying this, daddy." And we were like, "Oh, no, 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 we're not saying that, daddy." He was like, "Well, that's what this F is saying." So it was like, good lord, no. A F was horrible. And so we didn't get many of those. A D was considered an F. It wasn't even acceptable in your grade, in your report card. It was not even considered. So the standard was extremely high. um the language and the education was extremely challenging, but that was the beauty of it. It was lovely. I One year I was having trouble with algebra, and all my classmates were not. They were doing just fine, but I was having trouble with it, and I could see myself getting behind. And so I went to our director, Director Robert Clark, University of Islam. And he was also a chemist. He's a big guy with a deep voice. And so I asked him, I was like, Brother Director, I'm not really getting this, the algebra part right here, just another. Could you possibly tutor me? And he said yes. So then I went back to class, and I told my classmates, I was like, oh, okay. I asked Brother Director Robert if he would tutor me, excuse me, in the algebra, because I'm not doing so great there. And so they joined me. Now, these are salutatorians or valedictorians. They didn't need to, but they joined me in the doing, because that's what we were. We were a team. We supported one another. If you didn't get it, we made sure you got it, right? Because we all sat in a classroom. It wasn't like, you're in this room over here and you're in that room. We had multiple grades together. So everybody knew when everybody wasn't doing well. So it was a self-esteem thing, it was an education thing, but it was a motivational thing. Um, and it was a ball. We had a ball. That's all I can say. It wasn't easy, but we definitely had a ball, and we truly appreciate it. So that's what our reunion is. Our reunion is a party. It's a party. It's an opportunity to recognize our pioneers, who are with us or who are not. And in every category, some schools had cafeterias, some schools had nurses, some schools had counselors. We had deans. We had chefs. We we had bus drivers, we had security, we had cross guards. Okay. And so it wasn't a shabby institution, it wasn't a shabby process. And it was a beautiful thing. So at the reunion, on Saturday, July the 20th, um, I'm going to drop down. And before I talk about the reunion, Saturday day, the Atlanta Muslim community offers a wonderful tour. They call it the Black Muslim Tour. So we do have that available for anybody traveling to Atlanta. Just let us know that you're interested in that. Now, on that evening, the doors will open at 6 p.m. We'll have the reunion. Um, yes, you can purchase your tickets at the door. We prefer pre-orders, but if you need to, we can accept cash or credit card, debit card. Um, we intend to be there until about 11ish. We have a band. Our band is led by alumni. Um, we have also entertainment from Brother Habibullah Salim out of New Orleans, the Language King. I'm a big fan of this brother and his command of the language.
Absolutely, and he will. Let me tell you something. He will put together a piece right on the spot.
I, I told him, I sister Zelly Omar, who I love dearly, she suggested that he and I speak, and so we were talking, and I said, "Oh, I know who you are." I said, "Oh, I'm a big fan. Yes, yes, yes. I think it would just be absolutely lovely, and it would be our pleasure, and it would be a treat, I think, to our guests." So, um, Brother Habibullah will be there. And, he has a lot to say. Our keynote speaker is Hatim Sharif out of Los Angeles. He's the resident imam at Masjid Ibn Rabah, again in Los Angeles, and he's also alumni, and again graduate of the University of Islam and Clara Muhammad School. His mother was our long-standing captain. We've only had two in Los Angeles, I think. Yeah, only two, and I'm not talking about the new Nation of Islam, but um, in our history, only two, and the first one would be his mother, Sister Mamie, and he is a wonderful individual, and the way he sees and speaks about things, I think is very special. So Um, he has accepted, and I'm excited to share whatever he has to share with our guests. We also our theme is educating our children by any means necessary, and we wanted to focus on generations of students and graduates from our Muhammad school system. And so, Brother Khalil Ali, who is the principal of the Muhammad schools in Atlanta, also a graduate of the Muhammad schools in Atlanta. And he is part of that long generation of students. His mother was alumni. Um, his entire family was alumni. His mother is Halima um, Muhammad Ali. And so she has also accepted our invitation to speak. She's written a book about her grandmother, Sister Clara Muhammad, wife of Elijah Muhammad and mother of Imam Morfi Muhammad. And so that should be very special. We do have more generations because even in Atlanta, we have third generations and second generations. We hope to recognize those generations as well. Also, what we like to do, and I think I mentioned this earlier, is recognize our pioneers, our school pioneers. And so, excuse me, we have quite a few to be recognized, quite a few. And the list, the list can be so very long. So we keep stabbing at it, working at it, and not that we could ever finish.
Mhm.
School still exists, but I think it's very important that we recognize. We also wanted to recognize our alumni and students who are no longer with us, meaning they're deceased. We had hoped to do like a video loop of photographs and names. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, but at least we can speak on that because they many of them are very, very special, and we have not forgotten them at all. Then on Sunday is our brunch. That's going to be very nice. The food is by a celebrity chef in the Atlanta area that's family. And this is the time when folks, we can mellow out a little bit more and folks can ask questions. The National Alumni Association will give their report, and we can have conversations, because what the premise for the Alumni Association I mentioned, but also we want to have chapters, right? So chapters can then support the schools in their area. And if there aren't a school and they're interested in restarting a school or starting a school, they can assist the school, right? And because we have developed, the National Alumni Association has developed a chapter handbook that pretty much walks you through every process that you need to do. And so we're not trying to have um, organizations that aren't legally binding, right? Imam Muhammad said he did not want any storefront schools, and he didn't want any shabby um, entities. And we need to do our business and handle our business for the area we're in, the country we're in, and do things correctly. So we're here to assist the National Alumni Association. Now, I do know that in representing the upcoming event next weekend, folks have said the word fundraiser. This is not a fundraiser. Sure, if we are to get some funds, that would be wonderful. But this is not a fundraiser. This is a National Alumni Association, and that's our focus, is making sure that we get to meet one another, know one another, fellowship with one another, network with one another, and be a positive interactions for our students in our schools, and the development of. And so we intend to party. We've got our band, and they're live, and we got a dance floor. And our food for the reunion is being prepared by the ICLIS catering company, also housed in Atlanta. And our decoration is being done by Sister Marsha Elamine. So we are, I'm going to stop there.
Well, there you have it. I mean, that puts it all together. Couldn't say it any better. Again, it's the University of Islam, Clara Muhammad School, WD Muhammad High School, National Schools, Students and Alumni Reunion.
Yes, sir.
This coming weekend, starting on Friday, July 19th, Saturday, July 20th, and the 21st. They have a full weekend ahead. They have the tickets on sale now. Again, she said you could get them now. The link is there. We'll also put it in the chat. You can also go to the website, www.scms
Yep.
alumni associate.org. I'll put that also in the chat for you all who would like to click the link live. We also have live streaming. So if you can't make it live in the city that weekend, there is a live stream option, and we're honored to be that provider. That's only $40, and you'll get access for all 3 days. So it'll be like you're there, just wherever you are. And then they also have a special a whole table. I don't know if the early bird is over yet, but they have you can also get a whole table. They do have a phone number at 323-608-5519. That's 323-608-5519. And they'll be live in Atlanta. All weekend meet and greet. On the Saturday is the reunion, live entertainment, speakers, recognitions and presentations, live stream that was mentioned, and also the Black Muslim Tour. And of course, vendors are welcome, and then closing out with the brunch on Sunday. So we're looking forward to seeing our folks down in Atlanta and those who are coming from around the country to be a part of this historical event. It's first time in Atlanta, and they're looking to allow those who haven't been to Atlanta to see the school and the success that they're doing in that part of the country as a model for our Clara Muhammad schools. Any closing remarks, Sister Marsha?
So I'm just excited for this to happen. I'm excited to be able to come to Atlanta and be a part of it. I've got all sorts of ideas sort of just spinning in my head right now about how to connect alumni to the association because it's so important. You know, I have daughters that have completed Clara Muhammad School here in North New Jersey. And I'm just like, oh, well, they should be registered into the association, and so those are just some connections that we need to make so that it becomes a seamless thing. If anyone is out there watching or listening to this and you are an alumni of the Clara Muhammad School, University of Islam, Muhammad uh, WD High School, join the association. You benefited from this school system, as Sister Priscilla said, right? This structure, and it's nice to be able to come together and celebrate in a reunion, but it's even greater, right, to be an effective um, uh, to affect change, right? To affect change and what happens with our schools going forward. We have some very successful people that have come out of these institutions and are in positions of power to really be able to catapult our schools forward. I'm a board member of the Clara Muhammad Schools Network, and I know that that's something that we're trying to connect the dots, right? And close the loops, and fill in the missing links. So if you're out there and you can make it to Atlanta, get there. If you're out there and you can't make it to Atlanta, get the live stream access. If you're not a part of the association and you are an alumni of any of those institutions that I just mentioned, connect with the association because we are stronger in numbers. We have so many resources amongst ourselves, but we have to be able to connect with each other in order to have those resources be effective for our situation. And as you heard, this school system doesn't just benefit Black Muslim children in Imam W.D. Muhammad's community. It impacts the community. It is beneficial for the community. The environment is such that it's conducive to learning. I remember when one of my daughters graduated from Clara Muhammad School and she went into high school, which wasn't in the Clara Muhammad school system. And like her first week in school, she came home and was just like, Mom, I don't know what's wrong with these children, why they can't just sit down and learn. Because in our school system, that environment was conducive to learning. And some of those other elements that just, you know, that you can't get away from in the public setting, they weren't dealing with at the Clara Muhammad School. And so I'm encouraging you all to get there, but I'm also encouraging you all to connect with the association because the work is needed. And who else to do it than those who experience being in the school system?
Excellent, excellent. So we thank you, Sister Priscilla, for coming on and representing the association, introducing it to our audience, and also allowing us to be the live stream provider. And we're looking forward to seeing our Atlanta family and community down there this coming week, the 19th to the 21st, and also seeing yourself and getting to build out what you present this opportunity for us to do. So we thank you again for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my pleasure. You can still use. So, anyone who would like to assist us, we definitely could use your assistance. So, sponsors, we have multiple categories. Again, I think my contact information is listed. So, please give me a call if you have any questions.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do. Thank you again for listening. This was our special promo show for the University of Islam, Clara Muhammad School, WDMHS High School Alumni Association reunion. And we have a special guest that just came in last minute. He answered the call. I heard him on his show, so we'll bring him on real quickly before we close out the hour after this quick commercial break. And again, thank you for Sister Priscilla for joining us.
Sister Clara Muhammad, a black Muslim woman from Macon, Georgia, was an extraordinary leader and pioneer. Her contributions, especially in the development of Islamic education in America, paved the way for thousands of Muslim families to take ownership of their children's future, starting at a time when homeschooling was illegal in the United States. She eventually established a network of schools that was later named Sister Clara Muhammad Schools in her honor by her late son, Imam Warith Din Muhammad, rahimahullah. Sister Clara Muhammad helped to establish the important role women had in early Muslim American history and was an inspiration to future generations of leaders. Without her, there would not have been a nation of Islam, or the unique Sunni Muslim community that evolved from it, one that was acutely aware of the concerns and aspirations of women. May Allah have mercy on Sister Clara Muhammad.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit muslimjournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, muslimjournal.net online.
We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on the Freedom XChange, we freeing your brain. They tryna shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Man Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
And we're back to another segment of New Freedom Exchange show. We thank you for those who listened to our first segment. We have a special guest who's here, who's also in tune with Islamic education, and he's the chair actually of the Islamic. This is the second annual Islamic Education Fair and Expo and Fair, and they have also a special book fair, Islamic book fair that they're going to add to the program. So once he comes back on, I'll bring him on. But in the meantime, Sister Marsha, how do you feel about our first guest, and looking forward to the alumni reunion?
So I mean, I'm grateful to her for joining us. I think that there is great work coming from the work of our hands, right? And so it's just exciting to see it come back alive, because I feel like in our community, with the transitions that we've been going through, once having a bolstering, thriving school system, and then the changes that we encountered, and now it feels like we're on this upswing, right? We're moving in a direction towards getting back to an even, perhaps maybe even superseding what we had before. And it's nice, right? Because there are so many connections that have been broken over the years, or maybe broken is not the most appropriate word, but whatever was disconnected seems to be getting connected now. And so it's great to share that with our viewers, because sometimes these efforts go unnoticed because only a few people know about them. And that's one of the things that Sister Patricia shared, is that there are some communities that are very familiar with the fact that the Alumni Association comes together for a reunion every 2 years. And then there are other communities who have absolutely no idea. And then in addition to that, there are parts of the community that don't even know that there's this association to sign up for, right? And so the fact that we're able to share this, Sister Priscilla, to share this with our viewers and have them now have the opportunity to connect, I think is great. I think it's great.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, and again, it's I really appreciate the unpacking of um, those who may not have went through the whole system, but they did attend it. They did get a sense of the school and the environment. I myself, I was fortunate to spend a couple years in Newark also at Clara Muhammad School, and then we moved out of the area. And my grandmother, who actually used to teach at the Newark Clara Muhammad School and the Philadelphia Clara Muhammad School, also set up her own school, independent school, Islamic Day School, Philadelphia. So uh, we did go. We did get a chance to go there, and we got an opportunity to go down to Clara Muhammad Boarding School in Randolph, Virginia, while that was open. So again, it's definitely an honor to be a part of this community and its educational impact in our life.
Yeah, and I mean, even so, you just share, the way that you were connected into the school system, you may not have known whether or not you could be a part of the association. I'm not sure if you did or not, but she did share that with us, that there are even those avenues for connecting in, and so I think that that's great. I look forward to that model for having having local associations. She used a term that I can't really think of right now.
Chapters,
Um,
chapters.
chapters. Thank
Yeah,
you. I look forward to even seeing the chapters, right? Because then that will probably make their national work that much more easier in terms of connecting with who completed the school locally. So it's exciting just to know that we're still in this race. We're
absolutely.
still doing the work, and even me as a parent, she talks about the parents and the sacrifices they made, and so as a parent, I'm just like, okay, now I gotta go and talk to my daughters and say, listen, you got you have to register for the association, albeit that our school situation was when they attended the school was a very small class size, but they did attend the Clara Muhammad School, right? And so they get to share in um that relationship among the alumni nationally. So um
Absolutely.
I got some work to do.
Absolutely, we all do, and the benefit of continuing to build with those who went through the system and see what they're doing now. There's also opportunity for networking in the work that we're doing now. If we share our origin together, obviously we should have a common destiny as well. And so, I think the experiences that people have had since they left the school and gotten their trade or their profession or their degrees, and as Sister Priscilla even alluded to, like it's our opportunity for them to even set up a school and expand the vision and mission of the Clara Muhammad School, WD Muhammad High School, University of Islam, the evolution. Our guest, our special guest, he's not able to come in now. For some reason, he was in the backstage the whole time. Everything was cool. But then we went live. It kind of kicked him out. And so he's just going to call on and give a quick shout out. And then we'll just call it a day, inshallah. Thank you all for those who are tuning in. Make sure you place where you're watching or listening from around the country. And like I said, this was a last minute thing. You there?
I'm here.
Okay. Like Salam, this was a last minute thing, but he was able to come in and give us just the greetings. He's also working. He's the recently selected as the educational chair of the Majlis Ashura of the Delaware Valley, and they're hosting their second annual Islamic Education Fair and Expo. And to my knowledge, you also are having a book fair as well. Is that correct?
That is Absolutely correct. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me, or inviting us, the Education Committee of the Majlis Shura of Philadelphia and Delaware Valley. Yes, this is our second annual Islamic School Fair, and we will, this year for the first time, we'll have a children's book fair incorporated with the school fair.
Excellent, excellent. And it's also actually coming up next week. It's on a Sunday. So for those of us who are not going to be able down in Atlanta or get the live stream, if you're in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley area, it's going to be at the School District of Philadelphia headquarters. Everything is free. It's from 10 to 4. And they have featured Islamic schools, K-12, daycare centers, access to scholarship opportunities, Quranic institutes, teachers of various Islamic sciences, and youth organizations. You can call for more information. You can visit the website. That's phillymajlis.com. That's www.phillymajlis.com. Or you can also call or text our dear brother Mutaki Thomas at 267-835-5628.
Yes, thank you. How much time do we have?
We got a few minutes.
Okay. So yeah, alhamdulillah, we put this together, and the purpose that we're operating with right now, for the most part, is two parts. So our purpose, of course, we always want to state our purpose, our intentions for what we're doing, because that's what guides us, and that's what the law judges us on. And of course, overall, our purpose always is to please Allah and do what is pleasing to Allah. And in order to do that, we're aiming to help strengthen the Islamic schools that exist. We want to increase the presence and the profile and the visibility of the Islamic schools, all the Muslim schools, because I've talked to Muslims in this city, in Philadelphia, who they say, I think about 3 schools in Philadelphia. They say they can think of 3 Muslim schools in Philadelphia. And these are people, every day practicing Muslims, going to, practicing, worshiping, going to Juman, etc., to their Eids and everything. And they don't know how many schools there are. Like, there are many more than 3 Muslim schools in Philadelphia, in and around, right? In and around the Philadelphia area. So we realized that we need to increase their visibility, right? And so that's number one. Number 2 is for us to support the Muslim students who are in non-Muslim schools, because that's going to be the majority of them in every city. Most Muslim students, most Muslim children attend a non-Muslim school, like I did my whole life. I never attended a Muslim school, right? My older brother is kind of an alum of the Clara schools. He went there, I think, a year or 2 early on. But I've never attended a Muslim school. So, we want to support those who are non-Muslim schools. And I've taught in non-Muslim schools, as have pretty much the whole education committee. So we understand what it is, what goes on in those schools. And we know that the non-Muslim staff, educators, administrators, they're looking for answers of how to serve the Muslims, best. Some of them want to know how to serve us best, and some of them need to know how to serve us best, whether they want to or not, because that's, these are the policies that are in place. So we want to bring the policies, best practices to the people. So these are the 2 purposes, right? To strengthen the Muslim schools and to support those who are in non-Muslim schools.
Alhamdulillah. Any quick question from you, Marsha?
No, I think it's great that something like this is happening. As I was listening to the brother talk, I was thinking about just how important. One of the things that I was thinking about was the fact that this Islamic education is universal education, right? And it's also education that's as a character builder, right? Because sometimes, and I said it a little bit earlier when we were talking to Sister Priscilla, right, that sometimes there's this perception that school is just for them people, right? And The fact that there's going to be this expo for you to have an opportunity to see all of these institutions that exist in Philadelphia that are not just there to give you um, the foundational information about Islam, but it's also building your character. It's also developing your humanness, right? Your humanity. So many things are going on in our societies, particularly among our young people, more specifically amongst our young black men, right? But I would even extend that to say um, young people, young boys in urban society, right? There's so much going on, and to know that there are these institutions that you could connect your children with that is going to not just give them math, language arts, social studies, science, but it's going to teach them about themselves at their essence, at their core, and who they're meant to be. Um, it, I don't think you could even put a price tag on it. And sometimes, those institutions get overlooked because we think it's for a certain segment of the population. But there's so much to benefit um, our children in these environments.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Dave,
Yeah.
you hear me? Okay. Now, I didn't hear everything that Sister Marsha said, but it sounds like, from what I can gather, it sounds like she was saying she went exactly where I was thinking about going. Okay. This is not just for Muslim students, not just for the Muslim youth. See, we see Catholic schools, right? Most of the people in Catholic schools are not Catholic, right? Or at least probably about half of them. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you live. Many people attend Catholic schools, not Catholic, but they see the Catholic school as a good option. And I've known non-Muslim youth who have attended the Muslim schools where my children went to school, or at the Clara Muhammad schools, right? And it has a very good effect on them, has a very good outcome for them. And we want the general public to understand that this is an option for them too, right? And that also comes, from an idea that I got some years ago. The reason why we're putting the schools together, in most places, most of the people, they don't do stuff like this. I mean, and I want to know from both of you, have you heard of another Islamic Muslim school fair anywhere in this country?
No.
No.
And when I found out about this happening the first time that you all did it, I thought it was brilliant, and I was like, how can I do that in the North area?
Right.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing: we got to start thinking this way. We got to start behaving this way. Something that affected my thinking years ago. I'm referencing my older brother again. May Allah preserve and bless him. I remember once he said, where's the best place to open a McDonald's? Where's the best place to open a Burger King restaurant? Right? Where's the best place to open a Burger King? Across the street from a McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the counterintuitive. This is the not so obvious thinking, right? That is really the Islamic thinking. Because most people say, why would you open a Burger King across McDonald's? That's your competition. Yeah, but everybody going to McDonald's. They're number one. If they're number one, and everybody don't like McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ask somebody, well, whose food is better, Burger King? Most people will say Burger King. Well, who's number one? McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, whatever they're doing, going to them. But there's plenty of people who will be glad, oh, there's a Burger King. I'm going over there. So my point is, when you got something to offer to people, and don't see your brothers and sisters as your competition. See them as, we're going to be that mall. We're going to be that one-stop shop for everybody to come in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody to come and partake. And And this is the Muslim way because, let me know if I'm going too far. You stop me.
No, go ahead. We just want that sponsorship from McDonald's and Burger King. Free promo.
Let's have it. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to talk about sponsorships too, because we need that. Okay? So, when the Muslims ruled Spain, I teach Spanish language and history, is the Muslim perspective of Spanish history. So, when Muslims ruled Spain, in fact, they ruled Spain for more years than they haven't ruled Spain at this point. The Muslims ruled Spain for almost 800 years, and it's only been about 600 years since they left. Okay? So when they were there, they said that the enemies were always trying to overtake them. For centuries, they never let it go, right? The Catholics, the Spaniards never let it go. And they kept trying and testing. And at one time, they went to the marketplace where the Muslims were, and they asked the merchant, they said, do you have such and such? The merchant said, yeah, I have it, but you know what? I've done enough for today. Go see my brother down there. He has it too. So then they kept coming back. And one time they went to the marketplace, and they said, do you have such and such? He said, yeah, I have it. I've done pretty well today. But hey, I'll take you. I'll take the business. And they saw them stop looking out for one another. Okay? We got to have a Muslim mentality about how we do things and bring each other in. So my point is that the reason why you're seeing this school fair, and maybe the reason why we haven't seen this before is because we're not having the right way of looking at things, right? We got to bring ourselves together for the benefit of the people and not feel like we need to cut each other out. So that's the premise of why we're doing what we're doing.
Excellent.
So
There you go.
Sponsorships now?
There you go. Go ahead. The Majesty Shore of Philadelphia Delaware Valley presents second annual Islamic School Fair and Expo. The location is the School District of Philadelphia, headquarters 440 North Broad Street in Philadelphia, 19130. It's free from 10 to 4. So come on out, bring your family, bring your children. If you have an institution, you're welcome to also, I'm sure, set out booths. You can also be a sponsor.
We're looking for sponsorships, yes.
There you go. Go ahead with
so
it.
We've got sponsorships from the Azim Family Foundation, which is the foundation which comes out of Buffalo. The Azim, that's AZEM, Family Foundation in Buffalo, New York. We have sponsorship from Really Real Ginger, based in Philadelphia. Really Real Ginger drinks. That's Really Real, REALLYREEL, Really Real, like the movie Real. We also have a sponsorship from Ashley Paul and others. So we still are looking for more sponsorships. You can go to PhillyMajlis.com. That's PhillyMajlis.com. Or you can call me, Brother Kentucky Thomas, at 267-835-5628.
There you go. So we appreciate you coming on last minute. We was able to check out your show over at WRD. Did an excellent job, and we wanted to also share that information here with our audience.
Thank you.
So next week is a Power Pack weekend. No matter where you are around the country, around the world, you'll have access to the University of Islam Clara Muhammad School, WD Muhammad High School alumni reunion with the live stream, or if you're local to the area or you're traveling to Atlanta, we'll be there from the 19th to the 21st. Or if you're in the Philadelphia area at the Philadelphia School District, you have an opportunity to go to the second annual Islamic School Fair and Expo, as well as the book fair. Talk about the book fair real quick before you get off.
Okay. Yeah. So we had the author Adil Ismail. He's the author of the book My Kufi, and he has a series other books coming out about that. We had him on our show today on WRD, the Living Islam Today program. We've also, the book fair is this first time, right? The second school fair is the first time we're having the book fair. We're also bringing out Hakeem's Bookstore, right? This business, Hakeem's Bookstore, has been around for almost 60 years. almost 60 years. It was established by Brother Dawood Hakeem in West Philadelphia, and we're bringing them back. It's just like they kind of got off the radar of the people, so we're bringing Hakeem back to the center of the Muslim community, and they're going to be the centerpiece of our book fair. We're going to have authors, and we're going to have the children's books. This is something that has not ever been done before. We're also going to have Mr. Jamil Owens, who's from the Autism Research Center at Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, because autism is huge, right? This neurological condition of autism is big and is growing, and it's interesting because this was not something we planned on doing, having that presentation, but it seemed like as we're going through the planning of this event, autism just kept coming back around. Every time I turn around, there's something about autism. So my family or a friend, and we just felt we had to do this. So we incorporated Mr. Jamil Owens to be part of this from the Autism Research Center at Children's Hospital in Philadelphia.
All right, so there you have it. We thank you all for joining and listening and tuning in. Make sure you please share, like, and subscribe at New Freedom XChange. We're on YouTube, Facebook. We're also on Instagram too, so check us out there. Again, this whole next weekend, Power Pack Weekend with the Sister Clara Muhammad School, WD Muhammad High School Alumni Association. Check them out at www.scms-alumnassoc.org. Again, that's www.scms-alumnassoc.org. For that information, for tickets, live streaming, in person, all going down from July 19th to the 21st. And then also check out PhillyMajlis.com for sponsorship as well as vendor if you want to join the second annual Islamic School Fair and Expo and Book Fair, Islamic Book Fair, live in Philadelphia. Any last comments, Sister Marsha, before we close out?
Education is important. It matters who educates your children. It matters the type of education they receive. It matters the content and the education that they receive. It matters that their education matters to us. And so for any one of those statements that I just made, find out where you could be of most benefit, but make sure that on any of those grounds that our children are receiving the best that we could provide them with.
I mean, anything last words from you, Brother Mutaki, Chairman?
I just want to say thank you. May Allah continue to bless and reward you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for this platform. And thank you for the work that you do. Right? This is not an easy thing, and you work hard to incorporate this into your life so that you can help benefit the people and bring us closer together. Inshallah, which one, again, say anyone who wants to do a sponsorship, we have very, very nice packages for you. You can contact me at majliseducation@gmail. You can reach me at majlis education, MAJLIS education@gmail.com, and we can give you the information about our sponsorship packages. And may Allah continue to bless, reward, and grant His forgiveness, His mercy, His guidance, and grant happiness to Sheikh Mujahideen, Sister Marsha, and their families.
Ameen. Thank you again. Oh, we got some shout outs here. This is Assalamu alaikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful. Our son Zafir Abdul Salam graduated with honors in 2016 from WD Muhammad High School in Atlanta. Their proud parents are Imam Hosea Salam and Dr. Hijra Abdul Salam out of Portsmouth, Virginia.
That's Dr. Hajira. That's Dr. Hajira. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Hajira. She was with us at a time to be grateful.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Oh, time to be grateful. How about that? We'll be in Miami this year. Shout out to Imam Dr. Nasser and Imam Bakal down in Miami. We'll have a promo show for that coming down, but there are still early bird special. In fact, the early bird special is just extended to Labor Day. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for a time to be grateful, we'll be in Miami, Florida. Make sure you check that out at masjidansar.org. That's masjidansar.org. Or you can always check out the Muslim Journal. So yeah, if you guys are watching this now or later, make sure you shout out what year you've been in Clara Muhammad School and what city you were in or from, because again, we want to support and connect. As our brother Mutaki also reminded us that we should be supporting each other in all the things that we do. That is good, of course. So then, until next time, peace.
Peace.
I don't know about you, but if you're not paying attention, Muslims in America need some transformation quick. They need some liberation quick. They need freedom quick. And if we were to look and research the Muslim lands, we will find colonization. And where you find colonization, you find the mind of the colonizer amongst the people. And until we detach ourselves, until the oppressor can no longer find you in himself, he has power over you. So all of us in here, inshallah, we're all Muslim. We're making salat, you reciting Quran. But if you have the chains of colonization on your mind, then you are the Quran in chains.
Time is now, I've been waiting. I'm too nice, been patient. Patients be waiting for the checkup. They need me to write them a prescription of the antidote of codeine they be mixing. Double shrink they be fixing. Propaganda got my people screwed up. Well, I'm here now, came to give you tough love. Love without limits. Yeah, you heard about us, it's the indigo. Vibrating high, fine, writing like a calligraphy pen in my mind. Signs come naturally, cause I know who I am and who I'm meant to be. No controlling me, I've been set myself free. Got a railroad, travel back through. Cause in the darkness, shining bright, I'm the moon. In the darkness, shining bright, I'm the moon. In the darkness, shining bright, I'm the moon. Born to light the way so my people get through. Born to light the way so my people get through. Move. If you don't want no problem, stop killing us, gonna come back to haunt ya. Ancestors lurking, we watching, we see you. Every plan that you building, gonna fall through, gonna fall through. Foundation lacking, knock you off your pedestal, cause you knew one day I would rule. Worth more than 40 acres and a mule. Worth more than 40 acres and a mule. Africans, we own it. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded. It will be uploaded. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded. Revolution will not be televised. It will be uploaded.
first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown, and to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee stingers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers. The healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's grounded shit. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundages, we help heal the hurt. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online.